This is the story of how a journalist ventured into poker for her upcoming book and ended up winning the PCA National Championship, and the mind-boggling poker training she had with Erik Seidel. So, who was the player who went from amateur to champion in 1 year? The one who dived headfirst into poker despite knowing about the game for an upcoming book? Well, that will be no other person than Maria Konnikova. It's the Hollywood ending, right? Well, let's catch you up on Maria's career and how she ended up with the Platinum Pass to the PokerStars Players Championship event worth $30,000. Maria Konnikova came from a family of Jewish parents that migrated to the United States when she was 4. Her parents wanted her to be one of the best, and she lived up to their expectations. Maria attended Harvard University, where she graduated with a BA in psychology and creative writing. She earned her PhD in psychology from Columbia University in 2013 under Walter Mischel. How did a PhD holder in psychology end up at a major poker tournament? In March 2017, Maria decided to write a book on poker, and she found the perfect teacher, Erik Seidel. Maria first encountered Seidel after watching Rounders, like most poker newbies. Rounder was a movie about a brilliant law student who pays his way through school with his poker skills and, in the end, quits law to play full-time poker. This was going to be Maria's fate after she watched the 1988 World Series of Poker final table showdown between young Seidel and Johnny the Master Chan. In the non-poker world, this match is the most famous poker match, where Seidel's set of queens falls to Chan's straight. Seidel played his first ever major tournament in that game, and Chan was the reigning world champion. Seidel made it past 165 other players to make the final table. Seidel soon began teaching Maria how to play poker, and most people wondered why a random journalist would follow a professional player around. Maria had a PhD in psychology at the time and was therefore well positioned to understand Seidel's style of play. Although Seidel hates sharing his tactics and is notoriously reticent. The training was more of an experiment to see if Seidel's psychological game would triumph over a strictly mathematical game of poker. At the beginning of the training period, Maria's husband had just been laid off, and this was not the ideal moment to pursue an abstract question about a game she knew nothing about. But soon, Maria found herself consumed by poker, and the game served as the perfect laboratory for her own questions about the role of luck in life. Maria and Seidel conceived a plan where Seidel would train Maria for the world's single biggest poker tournament. Maria had less than a year to prepare for the World Series of Poker main event, which had a buy-in of $10,000. Maria's training started with the online version of poker. The poker table is flat and pixelated, surrounded by avatars and photos uploaded by the users to represent their virtual identities. Virtual cards zip from a central spot and flip over in front, and a small number underneath the cards tells you how many chips each player has. On the first day, Maria was schlepping to a coffee shop in New Jersey where online poker is legal, and it all felt kind of drab to play. But it's the quickest path to learning from zero. Hundreds of hands, hundreds of scenarios, all unfolding as quickly as Maria could click with a mouse. After playing on the first day, Maria walked up to Upper Manhattan to meet with Seidel. And review how she fared during the online games. When teaching Maria, Seidel did not have a lesson plan or specific topic to cover. Seidel's way of thinking is walking, so he and Maria walked, not just for exercise. Maria often tried her best to keep up with Seidel's long strides and strategically perched her phone on the side of her bag to record every conversation. The earliest walking conversations were about the basics of poker, and Maria was learning the ground rules of Texas Hold'em. She learned whether to fold or play when dealing with 2 cards, when to call the blind, bet or raise, and how players followed the same decision process. Maria learned that if only one person holds cards when the betting is done, the player wins the pot. If the hand goes to showdown, the final bet is called. The person holding the best cards will win. Maria realized that the simplicity of poker to the untrained player was a deception. Seidel did not give much concrete advice, and much of the discussions were from a theoretical angle of poker. Maria wanted a guide on what to do with pocket tens from the small blind following a rise from under the gun and a re-raise from the hijack. She was tired of the philosophy and wanted a more practical approach to poker. Seidel made Maria realize that poker's objective was to make good decisions, and that was the best way to look at poker. Maria learned that Seidel did not tell her how to play a hand because he wanted her to develop the ability to make good decisions. Maria had to learn to think through everything for herself, and all Seidel could give her was the tools to think fast. Maria's philosophical background helped in this regard. She understood what was going on in a way, and with a perspective that poker players don't have. Seidel taught Maria how to write down hands for reviews, and he had no problem telling her whenever she was doing something wrong. You should have folded 5 times before this spot, or you're looking at this hand wrong. How often has this player 3-bet or opened? In the beginning, Maria was really overwhelmed and was wondering whether she could pay attention to all this. But Seidel hammering that over and over, it becomes second nature to Maria. Maria found poker fascinating and enjoyed the process of learning from Seidel. But there were moments when she was really down. This was due to the tight schedule and tons of travels, which were physically and emotionally draining. Maria and Seidel traveled to Las Vegas, where Maria wanted to play Aria. Maria picked it up because Seidel also played with the high rollers. There were budgets of $25,000 and $50,000 buy-ins. Seidel asked her not to play that one because it was too expensive and she needed to build a bigger bankroll. Maria felt this was a blow to her ego, but she complied with Seidel's advice. In January 2018, Maria arrived at the PokeStars Caribbean Adventure, the PCA, in the Bahamas. Although she started playing almost a year ago, she had learned a lot from Seidel and even played at the Aria. Maria made it to day 2 after 16 hours of grueling play, and Seidel encouraged her. She recalled that Seidel sent her a message saying, "Job today. Relax. Focus. Think. You worked hard for this. Don't allow distraction." Maria made it to the final table at the PCA with emotional guidance from Seidel. Before the start of the final table, Maria texted Seidel saying, "Heads up, I'm chip leader." She wanted to know if he thought it was good to make a deal, but he replied saying he had been practicing. She leaned into her practice days and made a well-calculated decision to stick it out for now. The river was dealt at the end of the game, and Maria got the King of Hearts. She had just won the PCA National Championship with a prize of $84,600.